Hey, all my watchers out there. I've had a lot of questions about my background and my experience while I've been doing the lives. So, just kind of wanted to give you guys an overview of me. I started out flying as a teenager. I was 15, 16 when I started flying, and I did my private pilot's license at a Part 61 school. And then from there, I went to a 141 school, was kind of accelerated track program where you're there every single day. I had 2 flight blocks a day, study time in the middle. And in about 10 months, I came out with my commercial single and multi-engine land, single engine C commercial, and my CFI and my double I. And then from there, I taught for quite a few years. Right when I was getting some good flight time, that's when September 11th happened. And, there were tons of furloughed pilots in the market. So I stayed with teaching. I really, really enjoyed flight instruction. So I stayed doing that, became an assistant chief instructor at a flight school in Florida. Also one up in Michigan. So I was an assistant chief at 2 different schools. I kind of popped around, have about 3,600 hours total dual given. And I did a few charters. The one school I worked at did 135 charters. So I was able to do a little bit of that as well. So flew some multi-engine aircraft, but no jet aircraft. Was also in the Air Force for 4 years. I did that as well. I kind of took a break from flying and did that. I says, hey, I wanna do this Air Force thing. So I did that for 4 years. I was a avionics technician, F-15 avionics technician. So I worked in the back shop, not on the aircraft. It was kind of boring. I didn't get to work on the airplanes. So I did that when I got out of the Air Force. I did some non-aviation stuff more related to what my career track was in the military. But, every time I'd hear a little airplane fly over, I'd look up in the sky and I'd be like, I gotta get back into aviation. And so I did, up until I had my son. I tried to fly a little bit when he was little, but eventually I stopped. And then I had some issues, during that time frame when I took a break, had some issues with medical. So I couldn't fly anymore, and I branched off and I started doing recruiting. I saw this job and it said pilot recruiter. And I had done recruiting before in one of my, when I took a break from flight instruction and got burnout, I had done recruiting. So I said, look, that's the job for me. That's the 2 things that I know how to do. And so I started recruiting for a regional airline called Transstates Airlines. They're not around anymore, but I started recruiting for them. Spent almost 3 years there doing that, and managed to leave actually before the end, before they went out of business, and moved to a cargo company and a cargo feeder for FedEx. And then I worked there for almost 7 years. So I'm really familiar with the passenger and the cargo side of the house, to be able to do some comparisons there. And now, with my wealth of experience in the aviation industry as a pilot, as a flight instructor, as a recruiter, and I wore a lot of hats in some of those jobs. There's a lot of other things that I did, but that's my experience, guys. I know a lot of people have been asking, hey, are you a pilot? What's your experience in the industry? Basically, I've been in the industry most of my whole life. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've been a lot of places. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of people in aviation. So there's a lot of info up here. I'm always quizzing people on, you know, what their job is like, what do they do. So I have that info, you know, the pros, the cons. What do you love about your job as a corporate pilot? You know, what do you hate about your job? That way I can pass those things on to you guys so that you can make good decisions in the path that you want to go on in your career. So I hope that helps. That's just a little bit about me. And you'll probably know if you watch my videos, I have fur babies, dogs and cats. They pop up in my videos, and because my human baby is grown, so now I just have the fur babies, and I love them very much too. So they take up a lot of my spare time. I enjoy spending time with them very much. So see y'all on the next one, and hopefully this helped you to get to know me just a little bit more. Bye-bye.